seems pretty clear like Flaherty and Schilt are the main guys here because they're inside the organization and they know about AJ Preller and they're familiar with AJ Preller and they're still in the organization. And it feels like Mike Shilt's desperate for a manager job, and we know Ryan Flaherty's desperate for a manager job because he's never managed before. And so of course he'd be interested. If there was a time, if there was ever a time for Peter Seiler to make the move and fire AJ Preller, isn't this the time? Just clean slate. Just clean it off. And you get to start fresh. Is that the most ideal thing for him with his health and all that? No. Do I think it's going to happen? No. But what better time than now? Because if you don't now, you're probably going to have to wait 3 more years, right? I mean, Peter can do whatever he wants to do. If they don't make the postseason next year, I would think he would fire AJ. But are you going to fire the manager after one season as well? But, I mean, just think about this scenario, this possible scenario that I would love to happen. You have the balls to fire AJ Preller and say, we're done. I mean, Bob Melvin was the last straw. You couldn't make it work with him? We're done. Sorry, dude. That's it. I'll offer you a scouting spot, but you're not running things. Kim Ng is available. And Kevin Acee wrote in the Union Tribune that maybe the Padres are going to ask about Skip Schumaker from the Miami Marlins. Skip may not be happy that the Marlins got rid of Kim Ng. Seems like they had a good relationship there. His family still lives in Orange County. He used to drive from there to Petco Park every day when he was working with the Padres. Seems like he loves it. Don't know if he loves AJ Preller, but he loves Ben and Woods. He's on that show all the time, and I love those interviews, listening to them talk it up. He was still on their show when he was managing the Marlins this past year. Would he be interested in being the manager of the Padres closer to home? I think he would, especially if the Padres fired Preller. That would make it more appealing. And they brought in Kim Ng to run things. That would make it more appealing, right? Because there's familiarity there. They just took the Marlins to the playoffs. You think they can't take the Padres to the playoffs? No, they could fall on their face. But I would love to have that. Is that going to happen? I don't think so. That's a pipe dream. You know how AJ Preller thinks about all these different scenarios, long shots, 0.0001, 1% probability of happening, like no shot. That's probably in this category. But I'm just thinking about that. Skip Schumaker his name gets brought up. Maybe they'll ask permission. Well, I think Skip would say yes if Preller got fired. You could get a clean slate. You bring in Kim Ng, who was widely respected around baseball and should not have had the Marlins try to put a president of baseball operations over her. Definitely shouldn't have happened. I think that's disrespectful to her. Bring her in. Bring Skip in. I think the players would buy into that. Skip Schumaker, former player. I think he has good relationships with those players. You think he wouldn't want to win for Padres fans? I think he would want to win for Padres fans. I sure do. If there's a time to do it, it's now. You don't have a new manager. You let AJ hire a new manager, guess what? That manager gets like a 3-year contract. And you have to fire that guy, and you'd have to fire AJ after next season, if next season doesn't work, or 2025. If that doesn't work, then you want to make a change. Now, you only have to fire AJ. And I know Peter doesn't want to do that, but there's no manager right now. And it's not going to happen. It sure seems like AJ's just going along with this interview process. They've already started it. But that's just a pipe dream of mine. Like, if there's a time, isn't this the best time to just clean slate? And I should be taking into account Peter's health, but I'm just talking about looking at the situation right now. You just missed the postseason. Preller couldn't work with Melvin. Melvin's going to the Giants. Isn't this a red flag enough? A big enough red flag, like it's not working? This is terrible. Let's make a change here. Kim Ng is available. She said no to the Red Sox job. Bring Kim Ng in, give her a big contract or a long-term contract, a commitment to her. Make it more appealing for someone like Skip Schumaker. If Kim Ng's brought in and Skip doesn't want to do it, There's still going to be people that would love to be the manager for this Padres team. And I think it brings in more managerial candidates because it's Kim Ng that they would be dealing with, not AJ Preller, who has had a bunch of reports written about him about how he has a toxic work environment and the culture sucks. I'm just throwing it out there. I'd love for that to happen. Mike Schilt would still be interested. If Kim Ng was here, I'm sure that Mike Schilt would still be interested. Does Peter Seidler have the balls to do it? With his health, I don't think so. And I understand that. But AJ's not the right guy. How many more red flags do you need to see, Peter? He's not the right guy.